Quantitative tightening, what is it? What does that even mean? Well, in order to understand quantitative tightening, first you must understand quantitative easing. So it's something relatively new. We saw it introduced in the United States in 2008 at the great financial crash. When the entire world, the financial system was melting down, the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the US, stepped up to the plate to ease monetary restrictions. And so what they did was two things. One, they started lowering interest rates to encourage borrowing. We live in a debt-based monetary system, so that means money is created through debt issuance. So when you buy a new house, buy a car, buy a boat, that money is created into existence by you taking on that debt. So when they lower interest rates, people take on more debt. When people take on more debt, more money is created into existence. The other thing that they did was they started to actually buy debt. They started putting assets on their books, mostly MBS, mortgage-backed securities and bonds. And so they started adding all that onto their books, buying it up. Remember, supply and demand. They can keep interest rates from going up as long as they continue to buy all that issuance. So they've eased the money supply through these processes. Now, quantitative tightening would be the opposite. Now, we've only seen quantitative tightening happen one time, and that was in 2018, 19, and it didn't work out so well. As a matter of fact, it resulted in a pretty massive, fast, severe stock market crash, and the Fed was forced to reverse its position, the Fed pivot that we're all waiting for, and go back into an easing situation. It's the only time tightening has been done before. Here we are now with the Fed trying quantitative tightening again. So what is tightening? It's the opposite of easing. So they want to restrict the monetary supply. So they do that in the opposite way, raising rates, which we're already seeing. And instead of buying bonds and treasuries and putting them on their books, they let them come off of their books and eventually start selling them. So right now, we're in a process of them letting these bonds roll off of their books. They're not rebuying them. So they're just, as they come to full term, they just let them come off. And then, I doubt they'll get this far, but their next step would be to actually start selling these bonds to other people. Now, I don't think they'll go that far, and that would also require people willing to buy them down the road. So I don't think that happens. I think the Fed pivots pretty soon here back into an easing situation, but that's quantitative tightening. Hopefully that's helpful.